This video describes the functionality of the parameters management and also describes the significance of each parameter. So this is obviously the home screen, and operator level does not have access to the parameters management screens, only the supervisor level and the administrator level. So I'm going to log in as a supervisor. There we go. And of course, a supervisor is the function, and this supervisor's personal name is soup1. In order to get to the parameters management, I press here, parameters, and you go into two possibilities. The enter recipes 1 through 5 or recipes 6 through 10. So I'm going to go into recipe 1 through 5. As you can see in this screen, there are recipes for first set, recipe 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I will describe the functionality of each one of these in a second. In the screen, we have additional buttons and features. This one is a label that allows you to enter a descriptor for each recipe. So let's say, for example, a recipe number 3 was going to be called, let's see, we call it test. And so now it's test. So the parameters that are associated with recipe number 3 are going to be basically they're under the label of test. The next button is info button. And this info button basically describes the various parameters of the machine. The abbreviations are these, of course, and those are the ones that show on the main screen. And this is more of the descriptor of each abbreviation. So the first one is overpressure. This is the pressure to which the glove is inflated in order to sort of stretch the rubber of the glove. And it's a pressure level that is usually higher than the starting pressure. And the machine pulses the unit to create that overpressure for a programmed period of time. Starting pressure is the pressure to which the glove is deflated to in order to start the actual leak test process. So the first step is overpressure, then we go to a start pressure, and then we shut off the valves, and we start doing the leak test. And the pass-fail pressure is, of course, the pressure threshold that sets whether the glove is integral or not. If at the end of the test the pressure is higher than this pass-fail pressure level, then obviously the glove is integral. If it is below, then it's a failing test. Inflate time is the time that is allocated for inflating of the glove. It is possible that if there's a mistake made and the glove interface is not installed properly, that the unit will never inflate, and that's one example. Then obviously we don't want to allow the system to just sit, so we have a maximum time that is allocated for inflating the glove, and that's usually set to a couple minutes. Stab time, or stabilization time, is the time that we pulse the glove at the overpressure value in order to stretch the rubber. And then leak test time is, of course, the time that the glove is allowed to decay from the start pressure to the end pressure. And then at the end of the leak test time, the end pressure is compared to the pass-fail pressure in order to determine whether the glove is integral or not. And one more item is this glove ID. If it is a glove or a gauntlet, which is attached to the shoulder, the deflate functionality changes slightly if it is a glove or a gauntlet. So we have that as a parameter as well. So these are the abbreviations, and that's the definition of each. So here's here's the abbreviations, and with this screen, I have full control of the management of the parameters. I can change this value, let's say, to 204 if I want to. And as you can see, I've changed it. Now, I have not saved it, but I have changed it. So if I escape, naturally, that value is not going to get saved. But if I save it, and I will, then there's a confirmation screen. And then, of course, it says, yes, you've changed them. So now if I go back to the parameters, I can see that that number stayed in there as being programmed. Of course, I can also print the values, get a printout either on the remote printer or the local printer, depending on what is programmed. So this is an overview of the parameters management of the machine.